Almost every newly released MMORPG has been a disappointment, and I made it my mission to find out why in the hopes of having a positive impact on the genre. This is the first video of the series where I take you on a journey to a better MMORPG future. Today we'll be talking about why I think betas are ruining the games and MMORPGs in particular. First, we should deconstruct why betas even exist. In the early days of computer and video games, the developer was in charge of all the testing, and no more than 1 or 2 testers were required due to the limited scopes of the game. But as games became more complex, so were the bugs, and proper game testing became a must for any game dev company. This was the birth of the game testers. Company would hire people that break games for a living. They would sniff out the majority of bugs and be in direct contact with the dev team to report and fix these pesky bugs. This is what we call the quality assessment or quality assurance. Alpha and betas would just be specific game builds that these game testers would receive. Alpha would be a more early build, where beta would be a more finished product with only some refining needed. All this is an extremely important process for obvious reasons, but as games grew more complex, introducing huge open worlds, randomized world generation, and other features, the resources it cost to let these games be properly tested increased exponentially. And with it, the economical risk. Bigger companies like EA, Blizzard, and Sony, to mention a few, could keep up with the cost, but smaller companies like indie companies were falling behind fast. But then, in 2009, Minecraft was released as one of the first paid early access games, and this would change everything. Notch wouldn't know it at the time, but he just revolutionized the industry, because not only did he make $600,000 off an incomplete game, but people were basically paying him to test the game for him, finding and reporting bugs and giving valuable feedback for him to improve the game. It was a win-win situation for both sides. Of course, it wouldn't take long before a lot of other independent indie game dev studios would do the same. Not only could they rival the bigger companies when it came to quality assessment, but they were also getting paid for an unfinished product, giving them more resources to complete their game. But this genius idea will very quickly be completely exploited by scammers and the previously mentioned bigger companies. Early access would go from a solution for smaller studios to a standard practice in the video game industry. Companies would sell unfinished games and make bank behind the protection of the early access seal. But due to a huge amount of early access games, especially Steam titles being dropped mid-development, the early access status would quickly be recognized as something risky and unprofessional. And this is where the companies would change the name from early access to beta testing. And this is where the real problems start. With the birth of monetized betas, not only were video game companies immune to criticism and were making a profit off an unfinished product and empty promises, they also used betas as a marketing strategy, paying popular streamers, YouTubers, and other celebrities to test their game in front of their audience, pushing people into impulsively buying the beta access that very often costs more than the actual game, and making decisions based on the idea that, yeah, the game doesn't look that great, but it's a beta, so it will only get better down the line. This company would often make huge promises and overall creating a monstrous hype around the game, pushing people into buying the beta access in fear of missing out. With the goal being to make a profit before the game even launches, this company throw everything the game has to offer at their beta test. They reveal everything the game has, from early game to late game, which completely ruins any sense of adventure or discovery you could have experienced at its actual launch. Every guide, every location, and even the most efficient ways to play the game are all revealed on the main platforms like YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and so on. And as a competitive person, you feel the need to use all this information to keep up, effectively ruining your own sense of adventure. The game turns into a race instead of an adventurous experience. The game loses a big chunk of what it was supposed to be because money will always be more important than the health of the game. Of course, these companies also make sure to not disclose the state of the game when it launches before reaching the desired sales, sometimes even letting you believe that the best is yet to come with the launch, where in truth the game is in its final state already. With the majority of the budget going into their marketing, it isn't financially worth the risk to refine the game, and in the end it doesn't matter because they already sold it. This is why more often than not the game comes out in an almost identical state than it was in the beta, with the same bugs and the exact same content. So how do we solve this? Well, at this point it's very hard to change any of this because The problem isn't just tied to only betas. It's tied to a whole infrastructure of modern advertisement. It's tied to a whole mentality shift where making money is not based on customer satisfaction, but based on how well companies can trick people into buying their game. Reorders, Founders Pack, unique founder skins, and other forms of pre-launch monetizations are all designed to make the game profitable before it even hits the shelves. And betas are just another cog in the marketing machinery. The only way this could change is if betas go back to being a tool for improvement, a tool for making games great, and not a scummy marketing strategy. But we gamers have been conditioned to wanting betas. We want to be included, we want to be part of its history, we want to feel special. And this is what these companies are selling you. They are selling you the feeling of being included in something special. You are a founder, after all. Now, if you wish to be a founder of this YouTube channel and this series, I strongly recommend you bump that like button, stroke the subscribe button, and smash the hell out of the bell button to not miss any of my future uploads. I'll be continuing this series every Friday, and I hope to see you then. Oh, and check out this video here, I made it just for you. Bye!